Hi everyone. We've had some questions about how to do progress reports in Cyrus, so I wanted to do a quick video to make sure we talked about how to do them. In some ways, they're a little bit easier than doing them in SACE. Before we talk about those, just a few reminders about how to overall progress reports, what they are, and the importance of them. First of all, progress reports must be provided to the parents at the frequency that we outline in the IEP on the educational settings page. At a minimum, they have to be provided at the annual reviews and at each school's grading period. That is IDEA, and so we have to make sure that we're providing those. For non-PCOE sites, use your school's grading period. So for example, if the school is on a trimester or semester basis, you want to make sure you're providing them at that same frequency. So if they have grading periods in November, March, and June, for example, you want to make sure that you're providing those in addition to their annual review. A copy of the progress report needs to be sent to the parent at each of those times. Cyrus makes it available to send it virtually in addition to the printing. One of the things is you really want to make sure your parents get them. And so if a parent is not really doing super well with the new Cyrus system, you may want to print it out and put it in the backpack, send it home. We have the cover letter that we have on Symbaloo that you may want to use, whichever you think is going to work best for each of your parents. A copy must also be put into the cumulative file. And so make sure that a copy at each of these grading periods gets put into the cumulative file, and so that we have all of those in our records. Just a reminder, progress reports, I think sometimes we feel like it's more of just a responsibility, something we have to get done. Progress monitoring, though, should really be used to help the IEP team guide instruction, see what's working, what's not working, make modifications to goals. So if we need to, they're not doing super well in this area, we need to tweak a goal, maybe add a goal. We need to talk about that. And then also it highlights concerns. So if a student's not making progress, we may need to call an IEP meeting to say the student's not making progress on any of their IEP goals. It really is concerning if we walk into an IEP team meeting and the parent says, I didn't know they were not making progress on any of their goals. And so we need to make sure that we're addressing that. On the other side, if a student is doing really well and is meeting all their annual goals, surpassing their benchmarks, and is meeting all their annual goals early, we really should consider writing new annual goals early to continue with their natural progress, especially if they're doing them maybe 2 or 3 or 4 months in advance of their annual goal. We may want to up that progress. So let's go in Cyrus and we'll see how we do our progress monitoring. So I'm going to be working in the training server today to try to keep confidentiality. And so when we're in here and you're wanting to go look at a student and do a progress report for a student, you can go up to the student info and you can go to data collection progress reports. And that's going to take you to the student. I am right now, you're going to look and you're on Michael Scott. And so this is a student that you're going to have, and this is where we're going to do our progress report. Notice that Michael Scott has one goal. And so we're going to be looking at it. He has a benchmark, which is 11-1 of 2021. And so that's going to be in a couple days. So we're going to want to put his progress on this goal. Now, he may have 7 or 8 different goals, but just for this video, he only has one goal. So his progress, his benchmarks over here, it says by 11-1-2021, when presented with a communication device displaying 4 pictures, representing comments or opinions, he will share his opinion with giving gestural cues or prompting in 25% of opportunities. So in order to add the progress, I'm just going to click on this button right here where it says add progress. And there's going to be several items here. On these items, the accuracy, we can maybe put that he is currently functioning at 30% accuracy. And we can put his consistency. Although it doesn't have right here, sometimes we'll have 2 out of 3 trials, or it may have 1 out of 2 opportunities, etc. It doesn't have that, so we can actually leave that blank. That's fine. You can also put on here, there are comments that you can drop down if you want to. You can also type in comments. So you can say, Michael is sharing his opinion in 30% of opportunities. He is making great progress. Excuse me for my spelling. And you're going to go ahead and click complete. Notice up here that it does leave that consistency, and so it does leave that blank, but it does have the accuracy and it has my comment. I did want to just note that even though it does show a short number of characters, if you actually want to continue typing longer, Cyrus has told us, if I want to just copy and paste this and keep going forever, it actually would allow you to do that. And so you can continue to write extensive amounts of information on there, okay? So we have this information on here, and so if you need to write progress, you can write an extensive amount, so it's already been updated. Up here, we're going to look at the progress sent. So say, for example, we're going to send the progress link. We're going to send it on 11/1, and so that's going to be his progress date. Oh, notice there, that's where it has all the information, so it did update that finally, and so you'll notice that you can type a lot more in there. So when you're ready and you have all the goals here, one of the questions was, how do you affirm it? And that's, again, an old SAFES word. We want to hold on to that. There is no affirming actually here. Once you click save, it's done. And so once you have all of these progress monitoring done, you can go ahead and you might want to print. Up here you have a print button, so you can click print, and it will, if you have a pop-up blocker, it may have an issue, just so you know, and so it'll show print. On here it does have a grading period, and so right here, the grading period, you can just put, for example, first trimester. That's going to be our grading period, and we're going to click print, and now it's going to show, and it will have all of these, and I can click print, and I can send that to the printer, and I can download that, and we're all set to go to put into his cumulative file. If we want to send that to the parent, we could do as well. I can also send the link to the parent, so I could put in the parent's information, and as we know, it'll usually populate. So June Scott, Michael Scott at dundermifflin.com, and it'll send it off to that information, and we can put create link. And one of the things you may want to do is progress report and say, hi June, here is Michael's progress report. He is doing great. And then right there, just a little bit of a touch, personal touch, and we can then send that email. Now again, remember, in the test server, you can't actually send emails, but in the normal server, you can. And that's how you do annual progress reports. Progress reports for benchmarks. Now, on a final progress review, that is the goal. So if you're doing annuals or triennials, right here, the final progress is the same process. You put it in here. The only difference is there's going to be a goal met or a goal not met. And if we click no, you're going to say, why wasn't it met? Was it not introduced? There was no progress. Partially met? Was it substantially met? You're going to want to put that information in. And let's just go ahead and say that he met it at 60% accuracy, and just say, Michael was doing great. He was out sick for several weeks before the final goal. Timeline, and regressed slightly, for example, and we're just going to put complete. And right here, it's going to show us our final progress goal. Now, you can also put a keep or revise. If you have a keep or revise, that will also allow you, keep or revise, that will copy the goal to the goals in development. So you're saying, hey, we're going to keep this goal. It's a good goal, and we're going to revise it a little bit. You can click that and it will copy the goals to goals and development if you would like to do that. Once you do that, make sure you're also putting in your goal dates. So again, this goal is in June 1 of 2022. Send your progress link. If it's the annual review, you just want to be dropping down what is the correct timeline. Make sure you're printing those and that you're sending all of that information out and you're sending those to parents. So that is how you're goal progressing. I do want to show a quick little trick for those of you who are itinerants and or teachers who are having several on your caseload. So if you are in here and you want to do reporting and you want to do bulk progress reports, as soon as I click this, you're going to see that the names on the left side are going to be blurred out for confidentiality reasons. But if you were to go in here, you search the set bar, you're going to notice that we have lots of names. And we can go ahead and look at all these different names over here. And you can go ahead and see, usually you'll have just your caseload. And so if you know it's goal time for your class and you want to go ahead and enter all the goals, you can go on the left over here. There's an arrow. And if you click on that arrow, it'll drop them out. And you can go ahead and add a progress for each of those times. And that's going to be where the progress is. You'll still want to do the same thing where you have the timeline added, what is the grading period, make sure you print it. You can also print all progress reports. If you have your whole caseload, if you're a teacher, that's a good way to print all your progress reports. Be careful of that if you're another case manager. For example, if you have 50 on your caseload, because you'll be printing all of them at once. But that's a good way to go through and add all those progress reports quickly instead of having to go through goal by goal like we used to in SACE. So again, there is no affirmative testing. All you're going to do is add those progress reports when the goal is saved. You should be good to go. And then once the goal is moved, I'm going to go over to Goal Developer. We don't have any goals in development. But remember, when we have goals in development and then we finalize a goal, the current goals will go to archived and the goals in development will go to current. And that'll be the same thing. Those progress reports, they will attach to those goals in archive. And so, for example, if we have current goals and we do all of our final progress, those progress reports will stay with those archive goals. So you can go to the archive goals and look at those progress reports if you need to have access to them. If you have any questions, please talk to your coordinator. Hopefully that was helpful and will allow you to keep working on those progress reports. Thanks for all you guys do. You guys are wonderful.